5 Fox Kindergarten. Kim, Jin Mi. This is a fox kindergarten. I'm Omiho, 5 tails, taking care of baby foxes. Baby foxes are just white foxes with tails under 1000 years of age but no ability at all. There are 0 to 999 years old. We, Omihos, 5 tails, are in charge of nurturing and training baby foxes. In fact, raising and teaching babies is very difficult, and during the 1,000 year process, Omiho does it all. So, we can learn motherly love and teacher's love properly through Omiho. That is Omiho's training course. There are now 10 baby foxes because they were born once every 100 years. One Omiho is in charge of each. In other words, there are 10 Omihos. From Il Miho, 1 tail, to Sa Miho, 4 tails, the promotion goes well, but from O Miho, 5 tails, the number of Yuk Miho, 6 tails, Chil Miho, 7 tails, and Pal Miho, 8 tails, decreases to Gumiho, 9 tails. I don't know how long the Gumi grandmother will stay, but if the Pal Miho, who will succeed the generation, wins the Gumiho after the final battle of training, the Gumiho and the former Gumiho dies during the battle. In other words, the lifespan of the 9-tailed fox is not infinite. It means the end of life to hand over the status to a junior 9-tailed fox. Currently, Palmaho has a relaxed personality, so he doesn't seem to want to risk his life to become a 9-tailed fox, Gumiho. There is only one Palmaho. Maybe somebody can challenge Gumiho after Chilmaho becomes Palmaho. It's a long story for Omiho, so I don't even think of a challenge. However, Gumiho is well known as the strongest Gumiho of all time. So Palmaho doesn't even seem to think about competing. Our Omiho takes care of each baby fox, and my baby is 500 years old. Everyone raises their own children. And in the class, Omiho teaches one subject that he/she is good at. It teaches 10 subjects: learning, physical training, martial arts, and art. The most important skill of the fox, transformation, is not possible until the age of 1000, Il Miho. Before that, focus on physical and mental training. And baby foxes don't have sex yet, but they can choose sex as they become the Il Miho. The gender Il Miho choose once doesn't change until fox die, and of course, fox can change freely when fox uses transformation techniques, but the gender of the basic fox lasts forever. I'm also surprised by this. I don't know why Gumiho chose a female fox and still listens to her grandmother. Isn't grandpa better? In the human world, grandfather had more authority, but Palmaho is a man. He hears his grandfather. Maybe later on, the fight of the century between Grandma Gumi and Grandpa Palmi, who will win? But for now, Grandma Gumi is at the peak of her ability, and she is always training and meditating, so there will be no generational change for the time being. The useless explanation was too long. But what's my gender? Ha ha ha. Actually, I'm a woman, too. No, should I say ho ho ho? Why? I chose a woman because I thought my beauty was so extraordinarily beautiful that I would look better with a woman. I heard that there are many more beautiful men in the human world than women these days. In our heavenly world, men are manly and women are very feminine, so I have become a female fox that suits my beautiful beauty. And my beauty is famous in heaven, so everyone envies me. The same goes for foxes, of course, but gender doesn't really matter. Because we are not breeding like humans, animals, or plants. Just like the Huagua mountain monkeys, we are born at the highest mountain in the world of heaven every 100 years. Foxes are not giving birth. So the role of male and female is not as clear as life on earth. It's just a matter of choice. Today is the day when I teach the class. I was in charge of music. Baby foxes like music. No, there is no one here who hates music in heaven. Everyone makes and plays their own music. And music is playing everywhere. I make and play more songs especially because I am a music teacher. And conductor. It's hard to say at an orchestra, but there are 10 babies and 10 teachers, oh me ho. Still, 20 of them work together, play together, and 20 of them sing together. And each fox chooses a solo instrument and takes a test every class. I'm a very strict teacher, so if the baby foxes make any mistakes, I'm relentless in scolding them and doing it again. I let baby foxes stay up all night until new perfection. Babies make, play, 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 and sing in unison. Sometimes my heart aches, too. They're still babies, don't you think I'm being too harsh? There are times when I think that. However, I also learned more harshly during my baby training. And I was the top student in music. Thinking about it after graduation, it was helpful to learn one more thing severely. Foxes that are later advantageous for promotion tests and who have learned roughly often get eliminated from promotion tests later on due to failure. I can't see my babies like that. So I make them work harder. At least all the babies I taught have to pass and get promoted. Today, during counterfeiting classes so far, I intend to ask babies to make 4-voice fugue. Each baby can do as much as they can. Last week, a 3-voice fugue style. A fugue is one subject, sometimes 2 or 3. In this case, it is called a double fugue or triple fugue. It is a piece of music that is performed by observing certain compositional laws while repeating long-term and disciplined mimicry of each vocal or instrument. A 3-voice fugue has 3 melodies, a 4-voice fugue has 4 melodies, and a 5-voice fugue has 5 melodies. Since we are going to make a 4-voice fugue today and order a 5-voice fugue next week. And the next week, I'm going to ask babies to make an unaccompanied chorus of more than 5 voices. In the heavenly world, one might misunderstand that only Asian music is played. At least humans, but in heaven, at least all the music that humans do can do, and do better. We can't match the foolishness of humans. It produces and plays instrumental music such as symphonies, symphonic poem, other orchestra music, chamber music, solo music, as well as single-rate music such as Gregorian chant, post-Mediterranean, Renaissance, Baroque, and so on. Bach, Mozart, Schubert, Beethoven, Brahms, Wagner's German music, French music such as Chopin, Saint-Saëns, Debussy and Ravel, and Russian folk music, Eastern European folk music, Arab, African, Chinese, Korean music, traditional music called gugok, American jazz, and all Native American music. And popular music, such as modern pop music, only deals with music history time. This is because they listen to, play, and make popular music among themselves even if I, the teacher, don't teach them. So I teach jazz harmony and modern harmony in harmony class. To make modern pop music properly, this type of music is taught only in theoretical classes, and performance and composition tests are conducted only in classical music. Everyone, I've scored all the 3-voice fugues submissions last week, so I'll give them back. All of them did well. Everyone, let's make a 4-voice fugue today. Now that you've improved your voice, I'll be able to do a little more time, right? And you know that it's never allowed to be a 4-5-8 parallel motion or a similar motion between each voice, right? Try to use 3 or 6 motion a lot. You have to make it as contrary motion, oblique motion as much as possible so that it doesn't get caught hidden parallel motion. You can use the piano if you want to check if the melody is harmonious. It's easy to know if you play it yourself. Set the standard for human Johann Sebastian Bach's 18th century fugue. You may consider Bach's fugue an exemplary answer. It'd be better if you could make it better. I'll give you 3 hours today. We have plenty of time, right? Make Bach's 4-voice fugue and submit it within 3 hours. If you're done, you can turn it in and leave. I glanced around to see if the babies were writing songs properly. But this can't be. There is no name for my fox, baby fox. Adults, of course, are also called tail numbers. 500 years old is my student. I told them to make a 4-voice fugue, but the 500-year-old fox, he is making a 5-voice fugue for next week. Of course, I'm happy at heart, but I'm at a loss as to how to make more progress alone than other students. What is a fair teacher like? Is it fair to do all the same? Or is it fair to let someone who is good do better? When I think about the baby training period, when other foxes make one song, I make 24 songs. By the way, Omiho, the music teacher at that time, humiliated me in front of other foxes, and gave me the lowest score, saying that my friends had a hard time making one song, but you made 24 songs by yourself. For the 200 years that Omiho music teacher taught me, I was so stressed that I almost lost all my beautiful silver hair. However, after music teacher changed to another Omiho music teacher, I got the highest score in the music course and graduated at the top. Are my disciples following in my footsteps? I called a 500-year-old fox to make a 5-voice fugue today and a double chorus with more than 6 voices next week. The accompaniment should also be used as a double organ. I came to a conclusion. It's fair to let the good do better. Some teachers and tutors are deliberately meaner and more obstinate because they don't want to make better disciples than teachers. They want students to nurture more foolish disciples than themselves and support themselves like a god, so that they can stand out themselves. They can't see a better student than them. It is not equality that makes fool equalization. Education for excellent students is fairer. Grades are forced to be ranked. This obvious thing is that in one part of the world, there are no report cards, no rankings, and only grades. Is this fair? It's just a stupid education policy that makes a fool of everything. I intend to make my favorite musician better than me. The motto of my education is Chong Chu Lam, that my student is better than me.